Welcome back to Daytime. Now, if you're taking care of a parent or a relative, Alicia Rotmore can give you some organizational advice that's incredibly helpful. I need this, and I know a lot of people out there do.
Well, one of the most important things that I say to people first is don't wait until something happens to plan for something unexpected.
Exactly.
I mean, and you're never too young to start doing it. 50 is not too young to start thinking about being elderly, if you will, and planning. And the first place to start is documents. Do you have important documents in place, and do your relatives have copies of them? So most people obviously know about a will. Have to have a will, wanted to have people in your family know how to get a copy of your will, which you usually leave with an attorney. Power of attorney, though.
That's key. First of all, you have to pick out your power of attorney.
That's right. You've got to pick it out. You've got to have that conversation. And it's so important because if something happens to you and there's a medical emergency, you can't oftentimes sign a power of attorney then.
No, you can't.
You need to have it done before. And then, just as important, a living will or a healthcare proxy. If you're in a situation where there's a medical emergency and you can't make your own decisions, somebody needs to make them for you. And you want to have that conversation before something happens. I mean, I have a healthcare proxy. I've talked to them. I'm nowhere near being elderly yet.
I'm doing this all right now because I'm about to run the Antarctica Marathon, and, hey, if something were to happen, so I'm taking care of all of this at this moment.
Those three critical things.
Yeah.
The next thing that I always say to people is start to have a conversation about what are your wishes. I mean, even my husband and I, we're in our 40s. We've started talking about, if we get older, do we want to live at home? Do we want to live in assisted living? Do we have long-term insurance, and should we be getting it now?
And some of them might not necessarily be comfortable situations, comfortable conversations to have, but they're key.
They're so important, and they're more comfortable, believe it or not, to have when there's nothing going on than to have when something's already started going on.
Very true.
The next thing I say to people is capture your important information. So get something like a life doc or a binder and put all of the medications that you take in it, all of your legal information, financial, insurance. Be prepared. And you know what? If you don't use it because it's a situation where you're getting older, maybe there's a hurricane or a fire or a flood, you've got yourself prepared.
There's many different reasons you can use that.
The other thing that goes with that is a budget. So think now, and you can do it in today's dollars if it's far away, or you can do it now if it's happening to you or an older parent. How much is it going to cost to live when you get older? What is it going to cost to be in assisted living? What is it going to cost to have somebody at home? Again, not necessarily a really easy conversation to have, but really important to think about, because the next thing is you set a budget, and then you have to ask yourself, do I have enough money?
Is this going to
take care of me?
Is this going to go the long way?
Right. Thankfully, people are living longer today than ever before, but it means you have to plan sooner to make sure you have enough. You don't want to stop working too early if you don't have enough in savings.
Now, should we give copies of all our information to, the people close to us? Obviously, attorneys. Should we put it in a safety deposit box, or some way that people have access to it also?
It's interesting. You can put it in a safety deposit box, but then you got to make sure that somebody, whether it's a sister or a brother or a child, has a key to that safety deposit box and has authorization to get in. Sometimes some of these things can be scanned in and emailed to somebody to hold on to.
Okay.
What I always suggest doing is the critical legal documents, leaving it with your lawyer, and then giving that card to 2 or 3 people, not just one.
Oh, very good.
So that they can contact a lawyer if need be. And usually by the time you get done with the forms, there's several people mentioned. Those people can all have the lawyer's contact information in case you need it. In terms of important information, financial and medical, make sure it's not sensitive and leave it in the house. Because if, let's say you have to go to
and soft copies, right?
Absolutely. Let's say you have to go to the emergency room. You don't want to have to be going to your safety deposit box to get the information about stuff. You want to be able to grab it and take it with you.
Exactly.
And then the final thing is, if you're in a situation where you're already taking care of an elderly parent, share the responsibility. I have an 87-year-old mom who has dementia. My 2 sisters and I have a schedule. Who's going to call on what day? Who's going to visit on what day? Because it is a tough thing.
Bottom line, stay organized.
Yep. And share the burden and prepare before it's too late.
Thank you, Alicia Rotmore. We do appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And for more information, just go to getbuttonedup.com. We'll be right back with more Daytime, so please stay with us.